Guys, I have a confession to make. I don't know, no, but I know. I don't know, no things, but I do know, no things. And trust me when I say I don't know, no things, but I do know, no things. That is Candace Owens' new favorite phrase that she doesn't know, no things, but she tells everyone that she knows everything under the face of the bloody earth. So we're just going to have to follow her, ladies and gentlemen, because she claims she is the arbiter of truth or the authority of truth, because what Candace Owens says must mean that it must go, right? Because she doesn't know, no, but she knows. I don't know how that exactly works, but she seems to think that it does work for her. So therefore, everyone has to go along with it, even though she doesn't know jack all. Now, what I've been seeing the last couple of weeks has been truly horrible. Truly something horrendous has been going on in this woman's brain. She seemed to think that she is pretty much taking over the Fed's investigation over the murder of Charlie Kirk. And she is pushing these dangerous lies and dangerous conspiracy theories. Every single day, I'm having to make a video. I don't want to have to make a video of Candace Owens and the next dumb thing she said that is easily refutable with facts, logic, reason, rationale. It is so easy to do that I'm very concerned about her fans, her audience members. And what I saw yesterday is proving just how crazy not only Candace is, but how crazy her fans are also getting. In fact, I think her fans are even crazier than she is, believe it or not. Like birds of a feather flock together and whatnot, right? So her fans are following a crazy dingbat like Candace Owens because she's saying very provocative things, because she's pushing lots of conspiracy theories, and her fans are going, I love this woman. She is speaking what is in my brain, and I can't actually say it on a large scale. But you know what? I'm going to follow her, and I'm going to push her message far and wide as well, which is actually really dangerous. This woman, look, this woman has got issues. She is a shock jock. She is a liar, and she is pushing harmful and dangerous rhetoric. What I'm doing, in case many of you are wondering, Jay, aren't you just doing the same thing that she's doing? No, what I'm doing is I'm calling out all of the lies that she is pushing to the forefront that hopefully people that watch her can realize, you know what? There's this guy named Jay Phantom in Australia that actually has a little bit of common sense, and the truth is actually really important. Okay, we live in a day and age of freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean that you're free from accountability, right? It's our job as Christians and conservatives to be the actual arbiters of truth, to be the ones that push the truth to the forefront. And unfortunately, Candace has gone off the rails. And when it came to Charlie Kirk, she is pushing these dangerous narratives and conspiracies for clicks. I'll get into what she said today, but before we do that, this goes to show you how crazy her fans are, because her fans are now starting to accuse Erika Kirk of killing her husband, Charlie Kirk. Yes, you heard me correctly. Here we go. Patriot Princess. Candace, I trust you. I really do. Why would you trust her? She's got no good track record at all. She hasn't been right about anything at all. But Erika's demeanor, lack of tears, showmanship was off. I think we need to acknowledge that. I realize you're probably friends with her, but watching that felt inauthentic. Conspiracy theories are flying. I'm looking forward to where you take this in the days, weeks to come. So, because Erika Kirk was showing herself strong during Charlie Kirk's memorial, her demeanor, lack of tears, man, are you for real? So what? She's supposed to break down and cry to millions of people. Is that what you wanted? She hasn't spent days before crying her eyes out. She's probably got nothing left, for goodness sake. She's probably shed more tears than you even care to think about, woman. Has that not crossed your brain? Oh, no. You're so insensitive. That's what I mean. These people are nuts. They don't think at all. Like, this woman lost her person, and she was crying. She's a strong woman, no doubt about that. But she's probably been crying a lot in private. Because that's what people do. You don't have to film yourself crying. That's what radical leftists do to gain attention. She ain't like that. So what you wanted her to shed tears, and she was emotional. She was emotional. Her speech was one of the best ones I've ever heard in a long time. Oh, we've got to acknowledge that her showmanship was off. I'm with you. All I've been saying since yesterday is either Charlie is alive and was on that small plane in UT, or he was sacrificed by those closest to him, including his wife and Turning Point. That got 17 likes. Charlie is alive. Now, I don't know about you, but I received a comment very similar to this saying, Jay, you have no proof, no evidence at all that Charlie is still alive or not dead. Right. So the body, his hands, Trump, everyone mourning him. So what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for Charlie to just magically appear and go, hey, guys, I'm here? How about the 4K video that you can't actually fake? It's not like JFK, but you can't fake this kind of stuff. How about Frank Turek that saw him, his testimony was gone? No, don't trust it. Don't trust it. You guys are crazy and you need help. Charlie's not here anymore. He's with God. And to then blame his wife, that's sick. You know, the radical left is celebrating his death is one sickness entirely, but to blame his wife and those closest to him for killing Charlie, that's a new level of derangement and evil. Just wanted to point that out. And you know who's responsible for these kinds of narratives floating in people's heads? You guessed it, Candace. Candace, while she's not saying this directly, she's largely responsible for putting ideas in people's heads that they get their heads spinning. Conspiracy theories go wild, and people will start saying and choosing to believe whatever they want to believe. She is definitely someone to look into. Just saying. Christ is King account. Why was she applying for a job at Turning Point when she was already a multimillionaire? Why was she applying for a job at Turning Point? She wasn't applying for any job at all. So these people, they don't have their facts, which is exactly what Candace Playbook is all about. Oh, and by the way, Christina, who's a radical leftist, Cosmopolitics is her Twitter handle. Did you all know Erika Kirk is banned from Romania because her evangelical group was accused of trafficking children out of Romanian villages? Birds of a feather, I suppose. You know, that is defamation. Because that, what you just said, is completely made up. It's a fabrication. It's not true at all. You want to defame her good name? I hope and I pray that Erika Kirk sues you into oblivion. You can't let these people get away with saying this kind of stuff, like accusing her of killing her own husband. And these are Candace Owens fans. I'll agree with one thing that Christina said, birds of a feather. Her fans flock with her because they're all just as crazy and nuts as Candace is. Oh, here is something from today. So Candace doesn't know, but she knows She knows, right? She will say that in this video. I don't know, no, but I know, no. I know. I've got a gut feeling, guys, so I'm going to go with my gut. Well, your gut has been really wrong of late. A lot. So she wants to tell us that Charlie Kirk's assassin may have been groomed by an underground communist death cult centered around bees and beehives. Anyway, have a watch of this.
And I did just a cursory online search, and some messages I found, which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school, gave me pause for concern. In fact, explicitly what it was a Polish underground symbol, like a Polish communist underground symbol that nobody would have recognized outside of people who know what it meant. And I just sort of went, okay, that's weird. I kept looking online, and strangely, I'm not kidding, and I'm going to show you these messages, I came across what looked to me like a bunch of people talking about bees. You're going, Candace, what do you, like literally bees, in a way that the only way I can describe it to you is like they were speaking about bees, but they weren't speaking about bees. It was very coded. And I'm going, am I going crazy? Or do you think that all these people are really actually quote unquote bee farmers, or saying that they farm bees? What is this lingo that I'm not understanding? Why do I feel like it's related to students? I didn't feel good about it at all. And I just sensed that we needed to get more involved, to go to the school, to ask about the process of hiring, to see if they needed more security. They were kind of giving up me the thing that teachers do now when you ask any questions about what happens at the school, which is they make you think like, why do you want to know? Like, we just do whatever we want to do. It's like, I don't know. My children are like 5 and 4, actually. Parents should, of course, we need to be more involved. Like, how did we get here that we feel like we're crazy for asking questions about the hiring practices at schools? And the feeling just didn't go away. I can show you this actually, because I was thinking like, I said to my husband, there is some weird underground, it's like I sense like imminent danger is coming. And for some reason, I feel like there is an underground that has emerged at schools, and it's like related to bees. That's what I said. And I messaged multiple people about this, my sister. Here are a couple of more text messages to other people. You can look at the time frame here. This is 8:30, August 30th. This is September 1st when we went off air. September 2nd, we were off air. And I started talking about people that were discussing bees in a way that didn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know if this is drugs. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. And so in a sentence, I just said, there's imminent danger coming. Okay. It is relating to a school. I think it's a communist underground, and I don't know why, but it has something to do with bees. Totally sensible thing to say to your husband. Then came September 10th. Obviously, Charlie lost his life. And a few days later, I was told, and I sensed instantly that there was like a hive of people that were involved in this. I just knew it. And when it happened, I just went, oh my goodness. And my gut is telling me that this was the thing, that the dread that I sensed that was coming out of school. And I had no idea. I am not a flag person at all. And then someone told me, and I was astonished that Utah recently, extraordinarily, did modernize their bee flag. I had no idea that the Utah state flag is a hexagonal beehive, right? And unbeknownst to me, that it has always been the beehive state. So in 2024, they modernized their flag, but they've always been known as the beehive state. And to be clear, it's not because they make honey. It's not because they have a high presence of bees. In fact, in terms of making honey or bee-related products, they rank number 24. It's actually the beehive state. It relates to the Mormon church, the Church of Latter-day Saints. Early Mormon pioneers founded that state, and they liked the idea of a beehive working toward a common good. Now, if that sounds vaguely familiar or communist to you, the idea of worker bees, yes, that's where it's from. So this sort of doom that I had about an underground happening, I was just like totally freaked out. It's a Soviet symbol, like the idea of making everybody into a worker bee. So what's happening here? Well, I can tell you my suspicion. I think that this is a program. I do. I don't know, but I know. I don't know, but I know, because it is giving me the same ick that I had when I was looking through the period and learning the reality of what happened throughout the 1960s when MK Ultra, when that program was running. And I have no reason to believe that that program was ever discontinued. And I believe that they find these candidates in schools. I really do. I think they find these candidates in schools. And so I wanted to express that to you, that we, once again, are having a predicament, and we can trace this straight from what they did to when JFK was assassinated, where the feds are obscuring. They are using journalists to obscure. They are putting pressure on government officials. They are lying to the public about everything, except this time it's regarding Charlie Kirk, which means this time it's not going to fly because I'm not going to allow it to.
Keep in mind, my friends, that this woman is paid millions of dollars to talk. And I'll give her credit. She's very good at talking. She's very good at making up a great deal of nonsense that kind of makes sense, but it doesn't really when you think about it and you actually put it into perspective a little bit. And I mean, if she's saying that she had this gut feeling of, oh, there's a hive involved, but, well, who's that hive? Oh, why in the world would you go and blame Israel? So Israel is the hive. Oh, keeping in mind, she also went on the massive tangent of saying that there's this underground. She thinks that there was an underground person that shot Charlie from underground in a trap door. There's that. So no wonder Candace Owens hasn't corroborated any of the evidence with the FBI or the feds. But she seemed to think that the mummy sleuths of the internet are right. They're the ones that know exactly what's going on the internet, and they should take over the Charlie Kirk investigation because she doesn't trust the feds. Oh, and the bees. Communist death cult run by bee leaders or bees. The Church of the Latter-day Saints, they're involved too because for some reason the school has a flag with a beehive on it, and that sort of represents what Candace is trying to allude to, you know, this hive of people in the supposed death cult that went after Charlie Kirk. You know, the death cult that went after Charlie Kirk, Candace, that brainwashed the actual killer happened to be the transgenderism. So if you want to look into that, by all means, go and look into it. So once again, to finish this up, because I feel like I'm going a bit long because there's always something, there's always so much to actually debunk with Candy Owens. Once again, no credible evidence. It's just, I've got these text messages that no receipts of who they're coming from point that out quite clearly. So it could just be her saying, I'm obsessed with bees. And she's going to her husband. How George has not gone, oh, I think I've shit the bed on this one, guys. Maybe I did marry the wrong woman. Maybe I probably shouldn't have married her a week after meeting her or something along those lines. It was very short, guys. They got married pretty quickly. Maybe I should have just given it a little bit of time. Maybe he's just as crazy as she is, if not more. Maybe he's the one that is behind everything, giving her all these crazy fandangle ideas. And she's just like, yes, George, my love, I am going to communicate this to my millions of people and they're going to love it. I'm going to brainwash them all. The Candy Owens cult, we'll call it, is a pretty dangerous one. We saw in the very beginning how they're accusing Erika Kirk now of being involved in the assassination of her own husband, which is horrible, a new kind of evil. They're Candy Owens fans. And they're waiting to see what she's going to say next because they're loving it. They're frothing over it, man. Why don't we just have like this a sane body of people that can look at Candace Owens and go, enough's enough, woman. Stop. That's probably like my audience. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.